Hello, book lovers, and welcome to Authors Love Bookstores, a new program launching today from a Mighty Blaze here on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. I am beyond thrilled to welcome Janet Fitch, author of many novels, including one of my very favorite, White Oleander. This book has moved with me from home to home to home to home, and I'm so honored that you're here. Also joining us is Christine Blackburn, who is a bookseller from Skylight Books in Los Angeles, California. And so what we're doing today is we are giving a lot of love to independent bookstores. If you are a book lover like me, and if you're watching this, you are, I know, you love independent bookstores. They are special. They reflect our community. They build community. They bring us together. They introduce us to great books and to stories that we have never heard before. And so what we're doing as part of a Mighty Blaze's commitment to supporting authors and writers and book lovers and books in this time of COVID-19 is we are bringing together a best-selling author and the bookstore that she loves so that you can understand what makes this place special and hopefully buy books from this place or visit it when we can. So we're going to kick off by learning a little bit about Skylight Books. Christine, tell us about Skylight. You are located in Los Angeles.
We are.
Tell us about the community that you serve.
You know, we are in Los Feliz, California, which is just about 6 miles north of the city. And it's a beautiful neighborhood right up against Griffith Park, which is actually the largest urban park in the United States. So there's a lot of greenery, and the neighborhood is full of young professionals, a lot of hip people, but then there's also a lot of seniors as well. So it's an eclectic group. Most of the folks in the neighborhood are in the entertainment business, and we miss everybody.
I can imagine that you do. And your store was founded in 1996, yes. So you've built a real presence in the community. What was the origin of story of the bookshop in this community?
Well, we opened in 1996. Previous to Skylight Books, there was another store on the site called Chatterton's. And we actually have one employee named Charles who used to work there, and he's still with us now at Skylight Books. We began in 96, like I said, and then we opened a second store in 2008, which is actually adjacent to our store. And that particular store is basically film, writing, photography, screenplays. And so that's a very artistic store as well. So we're so happy to have both stores in the community. And, you know, if we weren't going through this crisis, we would be having live events at least 5 days a week. I mean, wow. Our store is hopping, and it's just a lot of fun, and it really does bring in everybody from the community. So we're feeling lonely.
I love how you just explained that the store expanded to include film and other movie making materials that would be relevant to the community. Like exactly. That's something you might not find in another town. So you really reflect what your customers want.
I think that's accurate. Yeah, definitely.
And then that makes your store one of the very special things about your store. Tell us something else that's unique about Skylight that makes it so beloved.
We have a tree in the store, so there's that.
Okay. What kind of a tree? Palm tree?
No. I think it's a ficus. I think it's a type of ficus. And we have a beautiful cat named Franny who lives in the store. Aww. We had another cat named Lucy that, gosh, Lucy must have been about 20 years old before she passed away. And then we got a new kitty in there. So everybody comes in and says hi to her. It's very sweet. And we also get a lot of people from out of town, of course, come through as well. It's in a way, not a tourist attraction, but we are the largest independently owned bookstore in Los Angeles. So we get a lot of traffic, and people really like to come by and say hi. So right now we are closed, but we are open on the web, of course, at skylightbooks.com. And we're really selling quite a few books. So it's exciting. So head over there, you guys. And of course, we've got more virtual events coming up as well. So check out our schedule.
Terrific. Now, Janet Fitch, again, I'm just going to hold up this book that I love so much. Can you tell us, why do you love Skylight Books? What made you want to feature them today?
Well, that I have 3 books after that book.
Yes, so, I know.
And I have read at Skylight for every book. from White Oleander to the last one, Chimes of a Lost Cathedral. And the last time I went in, they had nice stacks of them, which I appreciate. I have made friends at Skylight, people who come to readings of mine. I have two of my best friends I met with White Oleander readings there.
Oh.
People have come up to me and we start talking and go out for a drink and become friends. I used to go to Chatterton's. I used to live around the corner from Skylight back when it was in the day when it was Chatterton's. And so I was very interested to see what would replace it. I was so ecstatic that it was a bookstore, a darn good bookstore. And every time there are changes in a bookstore, the readers worry, your patrons worry about you. You know, it's like, oh my God, they're opening a second store. What will happen? Well, they open the second store. It's not only film and so on, it's graphic. It's art and graphic novels and zines, and it's a big neighborhood for kind of mixed genre hybrid forms. So that new store, it's almost side by side, it's on the same block, is such a treasure trove. When friends got married, I bought a lunchbox and I went in and filled the lunchbox with zines at their wedding present, and they still will like lie on the bed and open that box and look at the zines. I mean, every present is a book from me or some sort of literary thing. It always fits, you know.
We're getting questions from viewers. So one of the questions is, what was the picture on the lunchbox? What did the lunchbox look like?
What was the lunchbox? I think it was like a Rosie the Riveter lunchbox.
Excellent.
And filled it with the zines. And you know, I'm a member of Skylight. They have a membership program, so you get a percentage off all your, especially event books are quite a bit cheaper, and they have events like every night. I have gone to so many wonderful events. When things happen, you go to Skylight. You know, when writers are resisting, they have a reading at Skylight. You know, one of the most memorable events was when Toni Morrison died, and there was a tribute at Skylight. We all came, people read. It was such a moving event. I remember seeing so many people there. It's one of the most memorable was an Elroy reading, a James Elroy reading. It's packed. People were sitting on the floor. People were standing, you know, standing everywhere. And he gave the most outrageous interview. Asked about his book, Black Dahlia, I think it was, or the movie made from it. And he said, you know, size large, green, the color green is always flattering and size large always fits. I mean, it's like, I've seen the best readings. They have them every night. I saw the two last readings that were given before we shut down. My student, April Davila, 142 Ostriches was, I think, the last reading.
Yeah.
So that was a heartbreaker. I saw a Garth Greenwell, Cleanness, which was the one before that, and I saw Lydia Yuknovich, Verge. Everybody comes through. It's like taking the pulse of thought in America just to go in there.
Aw, that is so kind of you. All those words, Janet, really, thank you so much. And we love you. And it's nice when you can come by and, you know, sign those stacks of books when you know they're in the store. If you haven't signed them, please do. We love to have a lot of works signed by authors. It's really great fun.
And sometimes authors will become booksellers for a day.
Sure.
Oh, how does that work?
Well, we'll bring you in. And Janet, you should, as soon as we open back up, Janet, you're going to be our first one.
I sell all kinds of books for you. You don't even know. I'm
That's
like that. Have you read this?
And you were right about the gifts. It's so easy to find a gift at Skylight. Now, of course, I work there, but truly, we've got so many fun things. We've got a great girl there named Frida who does all the buying for us. And everything is very clever and very specific, whether that's a pair of reading glasses or whether it's a calendar or just something, just some little token. Everything is very, very clever and specifically picked out by Frida. So we love her. And all of the employees at Skylight, really everybody, it really is like a family. It comes from the top down. We've got wonderful people running the place, including Charles and Steve and Mary Williams. And you know, it's a real pleasure to work there. And I'm excited now to come online and be able to share stories like yours, Janet. Thanks.
And everybody's so knowledgeable, you know, and everybody has an opinion. You know, if you go in and you're not quite sure, you know, maybe you have somebody in mind you're buying a book for, or you're just sick of your own taste, go up to somebody and they have flag, you know, book talkers. It's like, wow, what does Christine recommend? You know,
yeah, we have the staff for the weeks. Yeah,
they all recommend. And one of the things that you've put in the last, say, 4 years is when you come in, there is the books of the people who are coming and have just come for events. There's the store bestsellers. And then there is a small bookcase where people line up to check out of books in translation.
Yeah.
And these are books that are usually lost in the fiction section.
Right.
But when they're pulled out and there's like 3 or 4 shelves of them, you stand there and look through. And I have met so many new writers looking through the books in translation because they are separate. And it's really accessible. It's right in front. There's a writer named Sergei Dovlatov and his book, The Suitcase. I must have bought 8 copies of that book already because I give them to people. So it's laid out in a way that you can discover books that you would have missed, as opposed to venues which shall not be named, which feature the most popular books. It's like, well, really? You know, why don't you tell me something I don't know?
So one of the questions we're hearing from our viewers, Janet, is what are you reading right now? Is there a book that you just told us one author you've discovered at Skylight, but is there another author or a particular book you're reading right now that you want to recommend to our viewers?
Oh my goodness. I just finished that Garth Greenwell's Cleanness, which I bought when he read at Skylight. And it's taken me a little while to get to it. And it's one of those books that you write, I'm noticing what he's doing. And I'm writing in the margins, noticing every transition or how he handles or the metaphors, reading in a participatory way. I like to write in my books. I like to have a conversation. So it's harder for me to have library books. I like to have my own copy and write in them and have that conversation with the author. So I just did that. I just read the 2nd volume of the Elena Ferrante Neapolitan Quaternity, or whatever they call it, the quartet. I've been reading some books that haven't come out yet, so I'm waiting to see them listed at Skylight and get a hard copy of them. But what's coming out, Christine? What should we be looking for?
Well, let's see here. Right now, our bestsellers include Wow, No Thank You by Samantha Irby, which is a book of essays.
Right.
Super funny. Also the novel, The Glass Hotel. I don't know if you've read that. By Emily St. John Mandel. Yeah, that's big. And then a couple of cookbooks have gotten pretty popular, probably because people are cooking from home, of course. One is very nice called Nothing Fancy by Alison Roman. And that's a lot of fun. I just read Barry Sonnenfeld's new book, Barry Sonnenfeld, Call Your Mother. And, Barry Sonnenfeld is a director, cinematographer. And anyway, so I just read his first memoir. It's super funny.
Janet, are you cooking? speaking of cooking, your
Yeah.
cookbooks is that something you do at home during quarantine? Are you a cooker?
Yeah, it's something I'm doing, but it's not, I'm not like one of those people who is super into food. I
Mm.
mean, I have a lot of kind of pantry type of supplies, so you have to cook it. It's not just slap it together,
Yeah.
the beans and the lentils and Indian cooking. And I like to, I'd rather eat than cook, but you have to cook to eat. Yeah.
So during this time of self-quarantine, we know there are a lot of people who are at home, who are trying to read, who are watching a lot of Netflix, who are baking bread, and who are also buying books. So, and they're buying books from Skylight and other independent bookstores. And so
Yes.
that's one amazing way to support the store. What else would you want viewers to consider doing? Janet mentioned earlier that you have a membership program. How else can we lend our energy to your store?
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, Friends with Benefits is a great program that we have. It's only $25 a year, but like Janet said, you get 20% off every event book, and you get 10% off everything in the store right off the bat anyway.
Okay.
We also do free shipping for you from the store. And that's a great way to support us for sure. The Friends with Benefits Club. We've got a lot of members, especially here in the community, which is nice. Then also, over at our website, skylightbooks.com, we've got a list of some of the events coming up, including there's even one tonight. So we're doing some virtual events. We're trying to keep active. We do have a lot of orders coming in, so that's super exciting. And stuff like this is great. So I'm just really happy that people are still thinking of us, still ordering books. And definitely go to our website, you guys.
What's
And
fun is on the website, they list the booksellers.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely.
And what they recommend.
Yes.
So you can go through and see who seems to go with what you like. So you could pick your critic, pick your recommender. So
Excellent.
that's really cool. I like that.
And maybe some recommendations of local authors. We obviously have Janet, but are there other sort of LA-based authors? Do you give some love to your local authors in your bookstore as well? Is there a separate section for them?
Yeah, we definitely have. We have a lot of local authors for sure, including Annabelle Gurwitch. And I'm trying to think right off the top of my head. It's really exciting. I'm trying to think of the girl who has another bestseller out right now, who lives right here in the neighborhood. I'll think of it as we're continuing talking. Let me just think of that for a second.
Okay.
But everything up on the website, skylightbooks.com.
Awesome. We have a question, Christine, from a viewer for you that I don't understand what it means, but maybe you will. I'm supposed to ask you, is there still Ask the Dust passage painted on the floor of the store? And both of you are making a smile, so you know what that means, and I don't. Explain it to us.
I'm just not sure about that, honestly.
Oh, you don't know?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Well, Juan Fonte is a very famous California writer. And
Yes.
his most famous book about LA in the 30s is called Ask the Dust.
Oh.
And I'll have to go look myself. The book has
too.
a lot of interesting little features like that. Their windows are really interesting. Sometimes they'll do like all one color, or pick a theme, or you have to, there's levels to that place.
Excellent. So I know that we are all looking forward to the day when we can meet each other at Skylight. I know we're all counting the days for that, but what is the first thing that you're going to do when it's safe to leave your home and go back into the real world again?
You mean the store?
In life in general, is Skylight, is Skylight the destination? Is it the beach?
Of
Is
course.
it the grocery store? What's the first thing you're going to do?
I'm going to go play tennis, because we've
Okay.
got tennis courts right up the street, and they have been, not only is it, of course, the parks are locked down, but they zip tied shut the tennis courts. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
So
I can't believe it, actually.
I'm going to go play tennis. That's what I'm going to do. Janet, what are you going to do?
Oh my God. Probably go to a bar. Martini.
Well, I'll see you down the street here on Vermont. I'll see you at the Dresden. We'll do that first.
There you go.
Martini, and then we'll head up to Skylight and check out the books.
Okay, so we are coming to the end of our time, which breaks my heart. This has been so much fun talking with the two of you. I just want to remind our viewers to go to skylightbooks.com to learn more about the bookstore, and
Yes.
also to go to janetfitchwrites.com to learn more about Janet's wonderful books, including White Oleander, Painted Black, The Revolution of Marina M, and Chimes of a Lost Cathedral, all of which you can get from Skylight, I am sure. And I just want to thank you both for your time today and for joining us and for shining a light on these very important bookstores that bring joy to all of us. And I just want to remind our viewers that we'll be back here next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, author profiling another bookstore, giving more love and attention. And Christine, a pleasure to meet you. Janet, a true honor. So excited to
Thanks,
have you both.
Kimberly.
Thank you. And thank you for all of our viewers.
It's so nice to
Bye,
meet you.
everyone.
Nice to meet you.